Nathan Judah. This is Wolverhampton Wanderers reporter. It is Mr. Liam King with the shades on.
I know, it's too hot for me.
We've been let in. We've got special VIP access to Inter Miami's beautiful Chase Stadium. We've heard from Mr. Gary O'Neill.
We have.
And Mario Lemina, new club captain. Ahead of the big game against RB Leipzig tomorrow night. Things are starting to ramp up now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's interesting talking to Gary about it because you've got, the Palace and West Ham games is an opportunity to give players minutes.
Yeah.
And he's sort of hinted that this game is as well, but you've also got 4 players returning. So you've got an opportunity as each game goes by just to get closer and closer to a starting 11, ramping up more minutes for certain individuals, heading into this game, heading into obviously the Rayo Vallecano game back at Molineux, and then the main event, as we say, Arsenal at the Emirates.
Absolutely, that is the main event. But look, 4 new players, I'll say 4 new players, 4 players we know very, very well.
Yes.
But we're going to see hopefully some minutes from all 4. Jose Sarr, João Gomez, Pedro Neto and Nelson Semedo.
Yeah, Gary pretty much confirmed that all of them will play. It just depends for each individual how many minutes they play. And that makes sense because look, they've been away, playing international football, gone and had extended holiday, which they needed obviously after a long Premier League season. And then you come back in and they've got limited time really. I mean, Gary put it quite acutely really to say they've got 2 games in 2 weeks basically to get ready for Arsenal. So yeah, I think I'd be surprised if they start. I really would. I think all of them.
You think all of them?
I think Jose Sarr's probably the one that would start if he was, because obviously goalkeeper's slightly less taxing on the body. But I wouldn't go that far. But I'd be surprised if any of them start. But maybe 30 minutes, maybe a half, depending on each individual. But I think individual is the right way to phrase it. They're gonna plan and base it on how each of them are feeling physically going into the RB Leipzig game.
So if they don't start, I was going to ask you the question: are we starting to see the starting lineup for Arsenal? Is that going to be more next week, or is it more about the formation now? Because you've looked at that back 4. Are we going to see that back 4 against Arsenal?
I think we'll see that back 4 definitely tomorrow and definitely against Rayo Vallecano. Whether we see it against Arsenal or not, whether they see it against Arsenal or not, I'm not too sure. So yeah, I think to some extent, yes, it'll start to go towards the 11 tomorrow. But based off what Gary's saying, I think very much the Vallecano game is where they're going to be focusing on results as well as performance, and obviously then Arsenal, of course, results. So I think we'll see a slight mix tomorrow, but we've got to bear in mind that the team that's starting at West Ham, the majority of those players didn't start against Crystal Palace, and then those same players didn't play a full half or full 30, the majority. So I think we will see the nucleus, if you will, of a starting 11 with probably a couple of additions added in there, and then obviously the 4 returning players to come back and get some minutes as well.
One of those players who has impressed, new signing Jurgen Strand Larsen.
Yes.
I think everyone's looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. We expect him to start. 2 very good assists. But it'd be great if he could grab a goal. Yeah,
I think Gary's spoken about this already on the podcast and a couple of the times. I think they're desperate for him just to get that goal because it's almost just taking a little bit of the pressure off. And from the player's point of view, he's been brought in to score goals. Now, he's done a lot of other stuff, holding the ball up, running in behind, offering a focal point. He's occupying defenders. He's been good in pre-season, don't get me wrong. But we just need to, and he's got 2 assists as well, but we just need to see one hit the back of the net.
A little bit of ruthlessness.
I don't care if it comes off his backside and goes in. As long as he gets a goal, I think that just lifts a little bit of the relief off. But regardless, I mean, look, it's a great stadium. It's a great opportunity to play against RB Leipzig. A Champions League side, a good game tomorrow.
100%.
But if he goes and scores against Rayo Vallecano at Molineux, that for me is the perfect game.
Okay.
It's the last game of pre-season. I mean, if he scores in both, that's brilliant, obviously.
We'll
take it. But if he scores in that game in front of the Wolves fans, that's almost the perfect tonic there, and you've got an opportunity going into Arsenal and beyond to start adding some numbers.
It's Wolves against RB Leipzig at the beautiful Chase Stadium. For all the build-up on this one, make sure you log on to expressthestar.com.